Hey, this is Mark Washington, MTC Media, with your wrap up. George Mason with an incredible 58-57 win over St. Joe's. The Patriots were down by as much as 16 points in this one. And, as cliche as it may sound, this definitely was a tale of two halves. In the first half, I mean, it was all St. Joe's. They shot 50% from the floor. They were 7 from 12 from 3. All the things were going their way. I thought they were the more physical team in the first half, more physical than Mason, which is rare. When you couple that with Mason not getting to the free throw line in the first half, they were 1 for 4, and they were 1 for 6 from 3. And we all know how Mason shoots the 3, so I wouldn't trip off the 1 for 6. You don't want to be 1 for 6, but this is not some sort of hot shooting 3-point team, so you live with that. But in the second half, everything changed. George Mason came out, I think scored the first 12 points of the second half, and though St. Joe's pushed back, St. Joe's took the lead. So obviously this went down to the end, which has been so typical for Mason. Mason was just a different team. You heard me tell you those numbers for the first half. In the second half, St. Joe's shot 33%. In the second half, St. Joe's was 3 from 11 from 3. In the second half, Mason shot 45%. Second half, Mason shot 17 free throws. Now throw away the 2 at the end with KD because he was fouled after Brown missed the shot. But those other ones are legitimate, and they threw the ball more inside. 6 3-point attempts in the first half, only 4 in the second half. That's just so odd for today's college basketball. But Tony Skinn said it after the game. I asked him about the difference between the 3-point defense in the first half and the second half. And this is where the game has changed so much. He said, we went and watched film during halftime, and we looked at our closeouts, and we weren't getting the proper closeouts, and those type of things changed in the second half. And the idea that you're watching film at halftime, you had said this 30 years ago. I don't think we're having this conversation, but just defensively, they changed on that 3-point line, and offensively, Jalen Haynes touched the ball a lot in the second half. He was 5 for 10 from the field, 6 for 7 from the free throw line. St. Joe's didn't want to double him, and they didn't really double him, which I didn't understand why, because if I was playing Mason, I would double everything and then wall off the cutters. And then if Mason makes, 15 threes, they make 15 threes. At least I would try that first. And Haynes just was different monster in the second half. And I'm going to tell you, Braden O'Connor, who didn't have the greatest offensive game, the only shot he took in the second half, he's trying to back down his guy. He pivots, kind of loses the ball. I don't know if it was a clean pluck or a foul. He picks it up, hits a teardrop, gives them the lead. And I'm telling you, the defense Woody Newton had on Xavier Brown on what was St. Joe's final true offensive set. He gets ISO'd on him. Brown has him where he thinks he wants to have Newton. He faces him up. He goes to the basket. And again, Newton just never allowed him to truly turn the corner, which I think Brown thought he could turn the corner, either make the shot or get fouled. And he really got flattened out, a dribble or two before the lane. And then he missed it was a short little jumper, and it was a tough one. And he missed it. Katie Johnson gets the rebound. This has been Mason's season. Winning these type of games. They just won one at St. Louis that resembled this, in overtime, where games are coming down to the end and they're overcoming mistakes, and they're just trying to get to a point of making enough winning, impactful plays. And in the second half, they did that, and they raced a 16-point deficit. Because I want to tell you, in the first half, how St. Joe's was shooting the ball. And no, granted, no one thought that St. Joe's was going to shoot the ball like that for 40 minutes. But what concerned me with Mason was it just seemed like they were backing down to St. Joe's physicality. And that all changed in the second half when, and Skinn admits this, and you can take a look. I'll post Skinn's post game. You'll see it. He challenged him at halftime. He mentioned it and turned this game around. So Mason moves to 21-5, 12-1 in the Atlantic 10. But hey, guys, doesn't look like VCU's going anywhere, right? VCU has two Atlantic 10 losses, so they're right behind Mason, and they are on a collision course for each other. Mason gets that midweek bye. VCU plays Wednesday before these two meet up in what should be a dandy down there in Richmond. And the Atlantic 10, you have to have this being a partnership where they play twice every year. It's ridiculous that Mason and VCU doesn't have play twice every year. Find a way to fix it in the schedule. This is Marcus Washington, MTC Media.